Now, downloadable movie services are starting to pop up everywhere, but are consumers really ready to pay for a movie that has an expiration date or might not look as good as it does on a DVD? Some believe the DVD reinvented the way that we watch movies, but a new technological threat looms in the distance. The era of downloadable movies has officially arrived. With the annoyance of going to the neighborhood video store or waiting for delivery by mail, the promise of renting movies over a high-speed internet connection is enticing. From Amazon to iTunes, to the Xbox Live Marketplace to Walmart, there isn't a shortage of online venues for your digital download fix. However, that promise of convenience is currently inhibited by a limited selection of films and quality that isn't always on par with your home theater. Are downloadable movies the future, or will DVD's convenience keep the medium around longer? Be kind, rewind, it's The Loop. All right, my guest tonight, editor for thedigitalbits.com, Bill Hunt is here, and editor for IGN.com, Jerry Block. Gentlemen, welcome to The Loop. Now, for years we've been hearing that downloadable movies they're going to replace the DVD. This is going to happen. They're going to be beamed directly into our brains from a server somewhere. Bill, I'll admit, I'm a fan of the digital download, but I understand it's certainly not everywhere. I mean, why hasn't this thing happened yet?
Well, look, what you have to look at is the recent numbers, the statistics for the industry. Most recently, as the first quarter of 2007, the latest numbers show that downloads represent less than 15% of all music sales. And this is after years of hype about iTunes and iPod and Rhapsody and Zune. People just are not doing it. As many as 140 million people, the vast majority of the market are still getting their music via CDs. And now movies are a whole other proposition. The files are bigger. It's just not happening in the way that people said it would.
Jerry, is it just file size that's hurting the adoption of downloadable media, or are you already downloading your movies?
I'm already there in a big, big way, and I think most of the really tech-savvy consumers are. There are a couple of headaches, the early PC-based services, you had to get a PC connected to the TV. There are a lot easier ways to do it now. The only thing really holding it back, I think, is the fact that the movie studios are really dragging their feet on putting out digital distributed movies at the same time as the DVDs.
I think if you want to rent a movie and you're the kind of person who's totally plugged into little portable players, that's one thing. But if you're a collector, no collector is going to get excited about the idea of downloading a file and putting it on his hard drive. They want the packaging, they want the box, and there are more collectors now than ever before because of the success of DVD.
I'll give you the fact that the value proposition on buying digital movies isn't quite there yet with the current pricing scheme. As things develop, we could get down to a digital ownership issue at a much lower price point that'll actually do a lot more for the format.
Yeah. Jerry, what do you think about Bill's argument that people want the physical media, that they like getting those security stickers stuck on their thumbs and their index fingers, that they want to take up shelf space somewhere so that it can collect dust? Isn't there a new generation of movie viewers that's used to perhaps not owning stuff? Maybe they grew up with iTunes, they're used to renting their media and not necessarily owning it?
I really think there is. As devices become more convergent, in the end, the fact if you actually own a DVD, sure, you collect it, but you're not going to watch it on your mobile device. You're not going to have it movable, basically. So you're going to be stuck with your physical media.
But you can rip these things to your portable device. A lot of these things can be ripped. Music, videos can be ripped. The problem is storage space. If you want to keep these things around, the first time you have a hard drive crash and lose lots of music, lots of movies, you're going to be soured on that whole experience. That's a huge problem.
Now, Bill, it's interesting you mentioned that you can rip that DVD. You buy it, it's physical, you own it, take it wherever you want. A lot of these services require you to install software that fills your videos with digital rights management and takes away some of that freedom. I mean, are those restrictions, you think, slowing the adoption here?
Sure, I think absolutely. And I think if you've got a physical copy, you know that you've always got a backup. You can go buy that. It's easy to go buy that. Amazon.com is a real simple process. Great selection. It's cheap. You get it home, you bring it, you rip it, and you've got both copies. And I think DRM, listen, it's going to be a problem for a long time. I mean, I think the movie industry is going to really struggle with that, and there's going to be a back-and-forth fight. I mean, and you have to remember, this has been going on for a long time. I mean, the movie industry was putting macrovision on VHS tapes.
Right.
I mean, this is not.
But Jerry's been downloading for a long time. Jerry, are you using an Xbox 360 or an Apple TV? How are you getting your movies right now, despite all these hurdles?
I've got both. I mean, I've used a lot of them. Right now, I'm a big fan of the Xbox 360 and its Xbox Live Marketplace, especially for the fact that it offers HD downloads. On that actually DRM point, It's a badly applied. It's always been badly applied. Even when Amazon Unbox launched, they're encoding that stuff with DRM plays for sure.
Right.
It was broken and hacked before the service even launched. You can strip it off easily now, so it's only hurting the actual law-abiding consumers. Hackers have no problem with it.
Here's the problem. You have to be really technically savvy to know how to do some of that stuff, and it's only a very small portion of the market.
Downloading a single program.
Yeah, but how many people have a download box, a download device, broadband connection in their living room? The vast majority of people who are watching movies do not have that kind of a connection. It's a really small niche market right now.
All right,
maybe 15, 20 years from now, who knows?
Well, and that's the final question, Bill. Is that what you really think it is? Are we just 15, 20 years away?
I think we're 15, 20 years away from seeing downloading really impact the rental market. But I think anyone who wants to buy this stuff and keep it, and any collector who has that pride of ownership, who really loves these movies, maybe it's possible that a movie studio will create some kind of a digital special edition of like Lord of the Rings.
All right, Jerry,
it's not going to happen.
For the guys like you who are already doing this, how long until everybody else decides they don't want to rent or buy these DVDs? What year is it going to be?
The mass market's so far behind, it's already a working system for the most part. Mass market, we're talking 10 to 15 years for things to catch up, but they're so behind the times. It's here now. All
right, in the meantime, I'll be streaming my movies, and Bill's right, I'll be crying the moment my hard drive crashes.
Well, and DVD's going to be around a long time.
All right, I want to thank Bill and Jerry for keeping us all in the loop. Appreciate your time, guys.
Attack of the Show, weeknights at 7, only on G4.